Welcome back, friends. Today I have a fun collaboration to share with you. It is a flour-inspired dessert recipe that we're going to share with you. So today I'm sharing with you a edible pressed flour shortbread cookie. This is being hosted by a very sweet friend, Donna at Baker Brews. She has great content on her channel. Please be sure to go check her channel out. I know you will love the recipes and things that she shares there. And also, don't forget to check the playlist I'm going to leave down below in the description box of my other YouTube friends sharing their flour-inspired dessert recipes. So for this one, you will need 1 1/3 cups of granulated sugar, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. It called for 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I just have regular table salt, so that's what I'm going to use. 3 egg yolks and 3 sticks of unsalted butter. You will also need the flours. These are edible flours that I bought on Amazon, so you can find those there. And there's so many different ones you can choose from. And also some, this is sanding sugar. You can use regular cane sugar to top your cookies with, but I had that on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy these really are to make. Now, the first thing you're going to do is take your softened butter and mix that in your mixer, so make sure it is at room temperature. And mix it really well. And I like to mix mine first before adding anything to it, just to kind of get it loosened up a little bit. Add in the sugar. And then add in your salt. Add in the egg yolks. And you want to get that fully incorporated into that. You make sure that you scrape down the sides of the bowl and everything to get that fully mixed in. Add in the vanilla extract. Mix that again really well. And then the last thing you add is the flour. So you're going to add that in just a little bit at a time. Mix it until you don't see any more of the flour each time. And just do that on a slow speed. And once you're done adding all of the flour, you will end up with a nice soft dough. So that's what you're going to see. And I take mine and I put it on a piece of parchment paper, and I just kind of try to ball it up a little bit, make it into a mound or, a ball. You can also use half of it if you want. Take some of it, off, put it on the side, and then roll it out because, it might be a little easier to do. So I just take it, I flatten it out a little bit, and then I start rolling it with a rolling pin. And it would be good to add something under it, which I forgot to do, a towel or a rubber mat or something like that, so it doesn't move around too much. But just roll it out until you get about 1/3 of an inch thickness. And I did put the dough with the parchment paper on top of a cookie sheet because this will go in the freezer. But you take a 3-inch cookie cutter, and I'm using one that has kind of like a scalloped edge on it, but you can also use like glass if you want, if you don't have one, and or just a regular cookie cutter that has a straight edge, and just cut the dough out. So you're just going to continue to do that until you get all of the pieces cut out. And like I said, I like this one because it kind of gives that feel of a flour with the scalloped edges a little bit. And once you have all of that done, then you just pull away all of the rest of the dough, and you're going to put that on the side, and then you're going to repeat this process again. So for now, I'm just going to put these in the freezer. So these are the only ones I'm going to do with the flours. But I'm going to and you don't want to open up your flours until you're ready to use them. So also make sure they are edible. So as I said, you can find these on Amazon. Just make sure you're getting edible flours. Now you're just going to design your cookies however you want. And I try not to overload them too much with the flours, but you want to make them pretty. So just kind of take the the greenery, take the flowers, all of it is supposed to be edible, and just add them to your cookies. And you can design them before. I try to put them on before pressing them down too much if I'm not sure how I want to do that. So that way it can be moved around. But I can kind of see, sort of where I want to, have the flowers. And you can pat it, like I said, down with your finger a little bit just to kind of press them into the cookie. And vibrant colors are best, I think, for this. But I'm going to take another piece of parchment paper, put it over the cookies. I'm going to lightly press those flowers into the dough. That way they're not sticking out any. But you don't want to press down and flatten out your cookie. So you're just kind of just pressing it over the flower part of it, because you don't want to distort the dough in any way. Now, once I have all of that pressed in the best that I can get it, I'm going to put these in the freezer for anywhere between 12 and 24 hours, because that's going to help keep them vibrant, the colors vibrant when you go to bake these. And I did do a test cookie to kind of see how that would work out, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I took just kind of spread them out on the parchment paper. Once they're frozen, you want to have your oven preheated to 350 right away. You're going to bake these for 9 minutes, and then you turn the pan around, rotate the pan in the oven for another 8 minutes, or until the edges of the cookies are, have a light brownness to it, and they're cooked, they're baked. So they don't spread too much, but you want to just have about at least 1/4 of an inch or so in between each of the cookies. Once they come out of the oven, then put them on a cookie sheet or a baker's rack, just to kind of get them to, cool a little bit. But wait just a few minutes before doing it, otherwise they will break. But you can kind of see they did stay somewhat vibrant, I think, the colors. I wanted to show you the two that I did the day before, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm adding some of that sanding sugar to the top, and you want to do that when they're warm so the sugar kind of stays onto the cookie. And as I said, you can also use granulated cane sugar if you want, but I just thought this, worked out really well. As you can see, these two I did today, and they did sort of stay vibrant. These are the ones I did yesterday. I did not put those in the freezer, but honestly, between the two, I felt like, because they did, brown a little bit. So when you freeze them, they do sort of stay, I think, a little bit more vibrant than if you were to bake them right away, because you can see it with the yellow and the pinks and the blues. They did stay pretty much the color they were before I put them on. And the only ones I would say would be like the white flowers may brown just a little bit more. But they really did turn out really good, and I don't find the flowers really have a taste to it necessarily. They just make the cookie look really, really pretty. And they did these, and you can kind of see those two white little flowers kind of browned a little bit more. So I would definitely use brighter colors for these. And in Victorian days, they used to take the flowers and they would take the egg whites and brush it on, but that's a little bit tedious to do, and they would do that after the cookie was baked. So this is a little bit easier. But it was definitely a fun cookie to make, and really enjoyed the theme of this one. So thank you, Donna, for coming up with this, and thank you for hosting. Please don't forget to check Donna's channel out, along with that playlist of my other YouTube friends. They're sharing their flour recipes as well. And it's going to be different types of desserts, not necessarily like this. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more like it, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that'll notify you when I post new videos. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope everyone has a blessed week. God bless y'all.